It always bothered the heck out of me, but it does. They're like, what one instrument do you play in the questionnaire? And I'm like, I would say bass. Good morning. I wanted to show 12 people my childhood bass and do a little bit of, what do you call it? Not Q&A. Just like a couple details. And my nose is a little bit, so my voice is probably a little bit. And so I didn't know, and I didn't want to believe that music was like in the blood. I'm just saying that music is kind of a gene. My dad played drums in a band, in his brother's band, so my uncles played. My mom played piano, although, and her dad was the one who played saxophone, Gramps. So, this bass guitar was always sitting around. And I guess my parents couldn't agree on if it was mom's or dad's. They both thought it was theirs. Somehow I got it. I don't remember how. And this goes way back. You can see. So this is always just kind of sitting around in the background of my childhood. And it only used to have the A and D. Yeah. Like E, A, D, G. These A and D, it had these two middle strings and didn't have these two outers for like years. And I would just sit it on my lap and plunk out, you know, probably can't hear it. It was like, that's smoke on the water. I mean, they taught me that. I'm like, okay, cool, and I learned that. This thing has always been in the background of my childhood. Till one day, it almost felt like, not rebellion, but for me personally, it felt like trying to play music was something I had to hide almost, because it was embarrassing almost that I would follow the same path. It's not like my parents were famous musicians. They were just hobbyists for most part, I would say. But it felt embarrassing to just be that predictable. So I almost had to rebel and not. I feel like I didn't want to be known that I was dabbing with music. Dabbling in music when I did. What I'm trying to get at is one day, I'm like, that thing should have all four strings. Like, I knew something was missing. It wasn't a secret. By the way, see the no lies? Yeah. So, I ordered, I don't remember where I got them. I bought four strings for it. Installed them, quite crappily. Because as you can tell, I don't know if you can see it. They're not wrapped around proper. They get like one wrap around. It's not the most secure, but you can't really knock it too hard because it's been on there for a long time. So, oh, that's actually a similar. It's actually tuned pretty decent. That's amazing. I didn't do that. Let's hear that rattle. It always bothered the heck out of me, but it does. I ended up stringing it, and I went to a website called tunemybase.com to actually tune it to pitch. Like, I would always tune it relative. Somebody taught me the fifth fret method. Was that supposed to sound the same? So that's a little bit flat here. That's almost dead on. It's like dead on. So really, oops. Oh, that's annoying. The tuner goes toward me on top. That's decent. So, what I'm getting at, before tangents and distractions, is I tuned it to 440 A concert pitch or whatever. And learned a couple bass lines on that site and got deeper into it. I still do like 10% of 10 things, so I can't consider myself a bass player. But I did heard from a friend the other day. I said something like that. I was talking to a friend the other day and said, I'm not good at any instrument. I just play them a little bit of them all so I could try to reach my goal. And they said, I thought you were good at bass. I'm like, thanks. Maybe. Mom said that once, and I remember thinking, oh, I made it. She's like, you're a good bass player. I'm like, oh, I made it. So look, Mama, I made it! But at some point in time, oh, and I also would play this. I wouldn't play it through an amp most of the time because I didn't have an amp. I'd play it into a tape deck. Because I'd only get tape decks that had the two mic inputs, you know, the left and the right. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So, it would be just left channel or just right channel. But I think I still have a tape of me plunking around on it. And just the other day, I plugged my Telecaster into the same tape, not the same tape deck, the same setup. And I like the way it sounded. It does give you a little bit of distortion, an overdrive almost, but you have to be recording for it to play through. And then when I play the tape back, it's way less. The fidelity is way less than when it's live, which is interesting. Probably just the nature of the tape. So, bass is like if somebody said nope, like I'm in a damn government office and I have to sign up for some shit, and they're like, what one instrument do you play in the questionnaire? And I'm like, I would say bass. But this guitar got decommissioned because I got curious, as I do, and I took the coil apart, I took the pickup out, and the wires were coming out. And it was like hair in my hands, like robot hair in my hands. And it turns out that I never got it back to work again. You can see the missing knob too, the potentiometer. This does not play. At one point, it was my only bass, so I'm like, maybe I should put a new pickup in it. And I never did. And I don't know if I'm going to, because it has enough flaws that it's not really something I like to play. I just want to talk about it. I think I'm going to keep it and just hang it on the wall or something. Like, I don't think I could get rid of it. But I also don't want to restore it. I have no interest in like getting it going again. But maybe that could change. But, I should explain the Metallica thing. Growing up, like as a kid pretty much, I had a top three. It was Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, and Pink Floyd. They were just my three. I didn't understand that there had to be any other bands at the time for a long span. So, this one's also a short scale bass, so it's 30 inches from nut to bridge instead of 34. So my P bass is like out to here with this part. And this is cozier because it's smaller. It's almost closer to the size of a guitar, which is nice, even for like a taller guy like me. I feel like a regular bass makes you feel way out here when you're doing the low notes. And this also doesn't have like any or very little curve on the fretboard, which makes me feel like a robot playing it. So that might be it. This is my key to get into music. Then it snowballed from there. And now I'm here wishing I like put more time in. There's a span of time in my life that I was like, why wasn't I beating on my craft? Again, I have a hard time like, I love doing things just because I want to do them, but I overdid that even. Like I didn't allow myself self-promotion. I didn't allow myself getting really good at one thing. But you know what? I'm coming to terms and I'm finding the reasons kind of why that happened. So, good morning. Now I just feel like feeling extra crap. One more thing. If you're making music on your own, like you're making your own music, try to avoid thinking like, why am I even doing this? There's so much music out there. That's not what it's about. I did learn that lesson a long time ago. It's not about necessarily adding something. Well, it's always going to be unique no matter what. Even if you try to do a one-to-one cover, it's going to be tinged with you, you know? So, make music, do it shamelessly, almost especially if it sucks. Almost especially. You know when you hear somebody singing and they're just really bad but they're having a good time? Or you see somebody dancing and you're like, but you realize you're judging and they're having fun? Period. So make some music. The world actually needs it, which is weird. You wouldn't think so, but they do. See ya.